This is the HAN Network. This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Friday, August 14th, and this is your coffee break live on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and we're bringing you all the latest news in southwestern Connecticut today. Later in the show, we're going to again be talking about this weekend's Milford Oyster Festival. We had a great interview yesterday on some of the highlights of the 41st annual event, and we'll be sharing that later in the hour. We're also going to be sharing Rob Adams had a great interview with Bernie Williams earlier this week on Nutmeg Sports. We're going to be replaying that. But first, on to this morning's headlines. After a sweeping 2-year review, the state Supreme Court outlawed capital punishment in Connecticut, saying Thursday that the state's death penalty no longer comports with evolved societal values and serves no valid purpose as punishment. The Hartford Courant reports that the 4-3 decision effectively removes 11 convicts from Connecticut's death row and overturns the latest iteration of the state's death penalty, a political compromise effective April 2012 that barred death sentences going forward, but allowed the execution of inmates already sentenced. Critics, including dissenting justices, accused the court's majority of substituting its judgment on evolving values for that of an elected legislature and governor who enacted the law. The majority decision, written by Justice Richard Palmer, found flaws in the 2012 death penalty law, which banned prospective death sentences, those imposed after the effective date of the law. But the majority wrote that it chose to analyze capital punishment and impose abolition from a broader perspective. It was clear from its inception that the state's prospective death penalty statute would undergo a bruising constitutional challenge. It was a compromise worked out between death penalty advocates and opponents in the aftermath of a horrific home invasion in Cheshire, during which 2 ex-convicts assaulted and murdered 3 members of the Pettit family. The resulting law, in the view of the most political observers, was an expedient means of ending capital punishment in Connecticut while continuing to press for the execution of the 2 killers convicted in the Pettit case, Stephen Hayes and Joshua Komisarjewski. The last person executed in Connecticut was serial killer Michael Ross, who was put to death in 2005 only after he waged a year-long legal fight to end his appeals and to have the sentence imposed. In other news, the search continues for a missing Easton couple. While the Easton Police Department, FBI, State Police Major Crime Squad, and other law enforcement agencies continue to search for Jeff and Jeanette Navin, the family issued a full statement yesterday, writing in part, "We are shocked and saddened at the unexpected disappearance of Jeff and Jeanette Navin. There are no words to describe the impact this has had on their parents, siblings, and children. We wish only for their safe return, and we ask for anyone who has seen either of them since Tuesday, August 4th, to contact the Easton Police. Financial issues," they said, recently reported by the media, "have not been proven to be a factor for our family members' disappearance. Information from authorities indicates that there are funds still in their bank accounts that are untouched." They continued, "We, the entire Navin family, ask for privacy and respect during this overwhelming and troubling time." Family members went to Easton Police Headquarters August 7th to report that the 2 were last seen on August 4th and to ask for help in finding Jeanette Navin, who's 55, and her husband Jeffrey, who's 56. They had recently moved to a rental house at 77 Staples Road in Easton from Weston, where they had lived and owned a home on Osborne Farm Road. A vehicle belonging to the Navins was located by the state police on August 9th in the commuter lot in Westport off exit 42 of the Merritt Parkway. Jeanette Navin has been employed by the Weston Public School District for the past 18 years. She's been a paraprofessional in the library at the Weston Intermediate School since 2005. Prior to that, she worked at the Hurlburt School. Weston School Superintendent Colleen Palmer called Jeanette Navin a beloved employee. According to the Secretary of the State's office, Jeffrey Navin is the president of J&J Refuse, Inc., which was incorporated in Connecticut in 1995. And later in the hour, at noon on Behind the News, we're going to be talking with Weston Forum editor Patty Gay more about this story as she's been covering it. Moving on to other news in Monroe, police arrested 2 suspects in an alleged prescription forgery case Tuesday after a foot chase that involved police dogs from 2 towns. According to reports, police received a complaint from Walgreens on Route 111 shortly before 6 o'clock in the evening that a man claiming to be a Milford physician phoned in a prescription for the drug Xanax. The pharmacist called the medical practice to confirm the order and was told that no such prescription had been sent. At about 7:30, the 2 suspects, Jerome Davis, 32, of New Haven, and Alexis Carlson, 26, of Milford, arrived at the store to pick up the fraudulent prescription. Store employees then called police, and an officer arrived to question them. As they were walking outside with the officer, police said Davis broke away and ran into the nearby woods. Police were initially unable to find him, but Monroe and Trumbull police dogs tracked him to a swamp area north of Walgreens before losing the scent. Officers then canvassed the area businesses and learned that a person matching Davis's description was looking for rides at a local service station and had walked away north towards McDonald's on Route 111. Officers then found Davis sitting at a table inside McDonald's, and he was taken into custody without incident. Davis was charged with passing a forged prescription, conspiracy to pass a forged prescription, criminal impersonation, and interfering with an officer. He was held overnight for a court bond of $5,000. Carlson was also charged with passing a forged prescription and conspiracy to pass a forged prescription. Bond for her was set at $500 for court August 19th. Well, Bethel and Reading police successfully nabbed 2 men who allegedly broke into a home on Putnam Park Road in Bethel on Wednesday. Police said the attempted burglary was interrupted by a caretaker on the property, causing the suspects to flee. An extensive search of the surrounding area by Bethel police, as well as canine units and officers from Reading, Brookfield, and Newtown followed. The 2 Stamford men were found in an area a short time later and taken into custody. 19-year-old Max Grabler of High Ridge Road and 20-year-old Paul Turpak of Charles Street in Stamford were each charged with second-degree burglary and second-degree criminal mischief. They each posted a $10,000 bond and are scheduled to appear in Danbury Superior Court on August 25th. Well, I'm going to throw it over to Rob Adams right now for a quick look at today's weather. Rob, what's going on?
It is a gorgeous day outside, Kate. Now, it's going to get a little bit hotter as we head into the weekend, but you've got to like what you see as we get the day going here on this Friday and to jump into the weekend as we are on your coffee break on this Friday. And really, what a great day. 77 as we look outside, a sunny day, high in the mid-80s. We're going to have a southwest wind from 5 to 10 miles per hour, a partly cloudy night, low in the mid-60s, and moving throughout the weekend. I mean, just, nice but hotter, climbing into the mid-80s and a little bit hotter each day as we get you toward Monday. Maybe a chance of showers on Monday. We'll have a full forecast for you as we move along on your coffee break, Kate, but just beautiful outside for now.
Yeah, I know we've been spoiled lately, so I'm sure there's some hot weather coming. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Don Ang's look back on this day in history, and we have a lot more news, sports updates, and a lot more coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
A variety of food trucks, hands-on activities, live music, a different theme every night, plus top women's tennis. It's the 2015 Connecticut Open presented by United Technologies. Be there as some of the world's best competed at the largest pro tennis event in New England. And catch famous players John McEnroe, James Blake, and more in the men's Legends event presented by PowerShares Series. It all adds up to one legendary week, August 21st through the 29th at the Connecticut Tennis Center in New Haven. Get your tickets at ctopen.org.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the Dock Shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the Dock Shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
You're watching the HAN Network.
We're back with more of your coffee break live on the HAN Network. Kate Czaplinski. And I'm going to throw it now to Donald Ang to take a look back on this day in history.
It's a 40th birthday for a Hollywood icon, and my bet is meatloaf's on the menu for the celebratory dinner. More on that in a moment. We start in 1040 AD. King Duncan I is killed in battle against his cousin and rival, Macbeth. The latter succeeds him as King of Scotland. Known as the son of play, his role and personality are far different. Unlike later writers, no contemporary source remarks on Macbeth as a tyrant. He famously made a pilgrimage to Rome, where he handed out money to the poor. 1880, construction of the Cologne Cathedral, the most famous landmark in Cologne, Germany, is completed. It had actually started in the 13th century. Work halted in 1473, leaving the South Tower complete, and with the remnants of a medieval crane on top of it, that remained as a landmark in the Cologne skyline for 400 years. 1901, the first claimed powered flight by Gustav Whitehead. The flight was reported in the August 18, 1901 issue of the Bridgeport Sunday Herald and reprinted in the New York Herald, the Boston Transcript, and the Washington Times, which ran it on August 23rd. Within months, the story ran in 9 other newspapers as far away as California and Arizona. 1945, Japan accepts the Allied terms of surrender in World War II. That photo there is George Mendonça kissing Greta Zimmer in a case of mistaken identity. Mendonça was on a first date with his future wife, Rita Petrie. The two went to the movies, but the theater interrupted the film to announce the end of the war. The patrons streamed onto the streets. The local bars were pouring free drinks, of which they partook. Walking into Times Square, George spotted a woman in a nurse's uniform, or so he thought. His ship had been hit by a kamikaze, which was why he was on shore leave, and he greatly admired military nurses who pulled severely injured or burned men from the water and immediately went to work on them. The problem is that Greta wasn't a nurse. In fact, she wasn't an American. She was an Austrian-born dental assistant on her way to work. That they actually even didn't know they were famous until decades later. Life magazine originally buried the photo on page 27. And finally, our Hollywood moment.
Just a jump to the left. Hands on your hips.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, which opened on this day, August 14th, 1975, at the USA Theater in Westwood, California. It is, in fact, the longest-running movie release of all time. It has never been taken out of circulation. And guys, I think that kind of achievement calls for a toast. With your look back in history.
With the first half Freedom Division champions. And oh, by the way, over at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, tonight the Fish are back in town as they host a Faith and Family Night at the ballpark. It will honor the late Gustav Whitehead, the former Bridgeport resident credited for flying the first successful heavier-than-air vehicle in 1901. A replica of the aircraft will be on display, and the players will wear specialty jerseys, which will be auctioned off to support Big Brothers Big Sisters. So kind of a fun night out at the ballpark and a good time there for all. And I don't know that they will have a John Kovac, Gustav Whitehead jersey, but you never know. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Send it back over to Kate Czaplinski.
John Kovac does love himself some Gustav Whitehead.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, well, getting back to some of the headlines this morning, Greenwich resident and declared 2018 gubernatorial candidate Lee Whitnam is facing new criminal charges after an August 11th arrest in Woodbridge, according to the Greenwich Time. Whitnam was charged with 2 counts each of criminal violation of a protective order and second-degree harassment. She was released on a $10,000 bond and is due in court for arraignment in New Haven on August 19th. According to the Woodbridge Police Department, Whitnam turned herself in on August 11th and was arrested without incident. Last week, Whitnam had sent out a news release claiming that she was, quote, on the lam from Woodbridge Police due to the pending charges, which stem from her ongoing dispute with Judge Jane Emons, who had presided over Whitnam's divorce case. Emons has an order of protection against Whitnam after what the judge claims has been harassment. Whitnam has heavily criticized Emons for her conduct in the divorce case, saying she was improperly treated in court and subject to discrimination due to her political views on Israel's policy toward Palestinians and what she perceives as Israel's undue influence over Congress. Whitnam is slated to go on trial August 25th in Norwalk Superior Court for previous charges of harassment, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct involving Emons. Those charges stem from arrests in April 18, 2013 and May 15, 2013. Whitnam has pleaded not guilty and is acting as her own attorney. She was convicted Tuesday after a one-day trial on an infraction charge of creating a public disturbance at the State Superior Court Law Library in Stamford. She will not serve prison time but was fined $90. Whitnam has denied the charges and in her news release last week said she had not intended to violate the protective order but rather send papers to Emons in the mail regarding the lawsuit that she had filed against her. In Bridgeport, a 24-year-old man who was shot twice in the arm Thursday night has been warned that someone was gunning for him, according to the Connecticut Post. A police spokesman said that prior to the shooting, the victim was warned by a friend to be careful of a car that was driving around the area. Shortly thereafter, a vehicle drove by the victim and started shooting at him, police said. The vehicle was described as a black or dark blue Buick LeSabre. The victim, who was not identified, was driven to St. Vincent's Medical Center in a private vehicle and received surgery for non-life-threatening injuries. Multiple units are searching for the responsible parties, according to police, and anyone with information regarding the incident should contact the Bridgeport Detective Bureau at 203-581-5201. Switching gears, going to throw it back over to Rob Adams for another look at today's weather.
Kate, thank you very much. A beautiful day outside. We're looking at a high of 85 on a sunny day. Tonight, partly cloudy and 65. Pretty good through the balance of the weekend. A glimpse of clouds for tomorrow, 87, but humid. The humidity going back up. Sunny and 88 for Sunday. Lows mostly clear each night in the mid to upper 60s. Monday, 90 and sunny. Partly cloudy and 69 for Monday night. Get you to Tuesday. Temperatures start coming down. Some clouds start moving in. We don't see really a serious chance of showers right now until Thursday. Hanging out in the upper 70s as we move along on this coffee break. 85 will be the high. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, we're going to step out, take a quick break, and come back with a lot more news after this.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Kite Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Kite stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Kite Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation landmark.
Now you can keep up with what's happening in Darien with the convenience of the Darien Times Online. Your choice. Print or digital subscription for just $45 a year. Or get the print and digital bundle for just $10 more, $55 a year. To subscribe to the Darien Times, go to hersumsecure.com/CIRC or call the circulation department at 203-894-3388. The Darien Times, now in print and online. Don't miss a single issue. Subscribe today. This is the HAN Network.
And we're back with your coffee break live on the HAN network at hanradio.com/livestream. I'm Kate Czaplinski, taking a look at this morning's headlines throughout southwestern Connecticut. We're now going to take a look at some news out of Weston. The bridge construction work being done at the intersection of routes 53 and 57 in Weston just looks exactly like it did several weeks ago, according to the Weston Forum. There is still a gaping hole in the ground, the road is still closed, and traffic is still being detoured. First Selectman Gail Weinstein said the state's estimate that the job would be completed by September 1st has now been extended. The new estimated date of completion is September 15th. While the bridge work is being done, the intersection at routes 57 Georgetown Road and 53, which is the Newtown Turnpike, are closed. Cars traveling south on Georgetown Road have to detour onto Old Mill Road, a narrow, winding road that has been the subject of many speeding complaints over the years. On the plus side, the Weston Forum reports that the Cobb's Mill Inn is offering free coffee at its cafe during construction and 15% off all food ordered from the cafe during that time. Vehicles traveling northbound on Route 53 who want to get to Route 57, Georgetown Road will be officially rerouted onto Route 7 North via Northfield Road, Cedar Road, and Chestnut Hill Road to Route 107 in Georgetown. A family is looking for help finding their missing dog. Jasmine is a 5-year-old female brindle white pit bull mix weighing about 45 pounds. She has been missing from Easton since Sunday, August 9th. Jasmine is reportedly very friendly but is shy with strangers, and they're asking please do not approach her if she's sighted, but take a photo and call 203-814-6763. There is a reward for information leading to Jasmine's return. Well, in Stratford, for years, the only way for visitors to see the Stratford Point Lighthouse was on the outside, with Long Island Sound's beautiful waters lapping in the background. Well, that's all changed on Saturday when visitors were invited inside. The lighthouse proved to be a popular attraction as thousands of people from in and around Stratford came to step inside and through the structure for a tour offered by the U.S. Coast Guard. The Stratford Point Lighthouse has stood since 1881 at the end of Prospect Drive when it replaced a wooden octagonal structure that was built in 1822. Big words, John. John's looking at me and laughing. Lighthouses have been managed by the United States government since 1789 under the U.S. Lighthouse Establishment. The Coast Guard took charge of lighthouses in 1939 when the services merged. Visitors went up the spiral staircase and then climbed a 7-rung ladder to the top of the automated lighthouse, offering one of the most unique 360-degree views in town, with the view of Long Island Sound being the most memorable, the Stratford Star reports. Altogether, the structure is some 52 feet above sea level. The deck immediately below is about 35 feet from the ground. The Coast Guard made sure everyone standing in Saturday was able to get a look, even though the tours lasted later than the original 3 p.m. closing time. Well, Rob, I'm going to throw it to you for one last look at today's weather.
Well, Kate, I'll take one last look at it. 85 and sunny on this Friday. Tonight, partly cloudy and 65. 87 for your high tomorrow, with a low of 65 tomorrow night under a partly cloudy sky. Sunday, sunny, 88. Getting hot and humid, 68 for the low Sunday night. Monday, hazy, hot, humid, 90 degrees. We haven't had to talk about that too much this summer, but it's going to be here coming this weekend. A lot of humidity, a lot of heat. Going to be a little bit of a warm weekend, maybe time to get to the beach or, just enjoy some air conditioning. But beautiful day, high 70s right now. We're going to hit 85 as I throw it back over to Kate, and you get ready to hear my voice a little bit longer.
Yes. Yeah, tell us about that. We're going to replay one of your interviews this week from Nutmeg Sports.
Yeah, this was a great one we had on Tuesday. We thought we'd have on Monday, and of course, it turned a little chaotic as Bernie Williams couldn't join us Monday due to a dentist appearance that he made. And, a little dental work resulted in him being unable to talk Monday, so we had him Tuesday for just about 20 minutes, a little over 19 minutes to be exact. So it was a lot of fun. We touched on why he's playing the Ridgefield Playhouse, his charity softball game, and of course some time he spent with a World Series winning baseball team as well. So that's all coming up, Kate.
Yeah, it's coming up later this hour. But first we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're also going to be replaying an interview we had yesterday with Jay Pinto, who is the president of the Milford Oyster Festival. Great event that kicks off this evening. The main event is tomorrow, so you're going to hear a lot more about that when we come back.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. and online at StraffordSmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season, and we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
It's grilling season, and Walter Stewart's Market is your local destination for the finest grill-ready certified Angus beef strip steaks, skirt steaks, 100% grass-fed ribeyes, all-natural pork ribs, Arthur Ave-style kebabs, fresh-cut veggies, delicious grab-and-go salads, chilled rosé wine, and ice-cold craft brews right next door. Walter Stewart's, your fresh local market. 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and shop online for groceries and wine delivered to your door at stewartsmarket.com.
It's easy to advertise on hanradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersom at 203-417-5199.
A variety of food trucks, hands-on activities,
Coffee Break live on the
music,
HAN Network. I'm
plus
Kate
top
Czaplinski,
superstars of
and I'm
women's
joined
tennis
now by
and
Jake.
the Men's Legends event, the 2015 Connecticut Open, presented by United Technologies, August 21st through the 29th. Get your tickets today at ctopen.org.
You're watching the HAN Network.
With your Coffee Break live on the HAN Network, I'm Kate Czaplinski, and I'm joined now by Jay Pinto, president of this year's Milford Oyster Festival. Huge event, Jay. I'm sure you've been really busy.
Yeah, it's a fun week setting up. Nice to be here, Kate. I appreciate the invitation.
And incredible, you just mentioned off air, 41st Milford Oyster Festival.
41st, 1975 was the first year, and it's getting
crazy.
bigger every year.
Wow, and I know we have some great photos of just past events. I try to go every year because the most amazing thing about it is it's free.
It's free. We keep it free. You know, I mean, we want everybody to come and enjoy the day, whether you're 5 or 85. Just come and enjoy the show. There's a lot there.
And it kind of kicks off. Oyster Eve is Friday, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, Oyster Eve. We started about 5 or 6 years ago because we can't have a 2-day festival because the city won't shut the city streets down. So our best bet was to have them do a Friday night thing where we can have it a 4-hour evening type of event where there's music and there's oysters and food and beer and wine. It's just a great 4-hour kickoff to the festival on Saturday.
Yeah, and tell us kind of what happens Saturday. When do things get going?
Saturday, the festival starts at 10 o'clock. It goes from 10 to 6. And from there on, it just gets busier all throughout there between the arts and crafts, and we have a classic car show, multiple stages with bands, of course our famous oyster shucking and eating competition, kids rides, everything. We've got everything that you could imagine.
Right, and I mean, you draw in thousands. I mean, is there a count on how many people you guys bring in every year?
Our best bet on a good weather day like we're going to have this weekend will probably be between 40 and 50,000 throughout the day. It's the largest one-day festival in Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like you said, you guys are all volunteers.
Yeah.
Do you know how this event even got started and how oysters kind of became the focus of it?
Yeah, it's a great question. The oyster industry used to be a very important economic part of Milford. And so organizers back in the mid-'70s decided to find a way to celebrate that while also focusing on nonprofit and civic groups, how to help them raise money. So the purpose is to raise money for all these local organizations while celebrating how important the oyster industry used to be.
Right.
And so it's just grown since then.
And a big part of the event has become the live talent that you guys are able to bring in. And there's a lot of pretty sweet 90s bands coming this year. Could you tell us who's going to take the stage?
We seem to have a 90s theme going this
Yeah.
year. We have 3, on our main stage, we have 3 national bands. Opening the day is the Rembrandts, and they're famous for doing their the theme to the Friends sitcom. And then after that is Fastball, who is also a great 90s band. And then headlining the main stage is the Gin Blossoms, who we're very excited to have. And if you don't like the 90s music, on our harbor stage, we have one of the best nationally known Jimmy Buffett cover bands.
Oh, cool.
So if you don't like the 90s Lisman Landing, and Jimmy and the Parrots will have you some great summertime music all day.
Wow, and I got to say, what was it, a couple years ago when Blues Traveler was there? I was just able to get right in there, and you're just so close to the stage. I know you guys had Bret Michaels recently.
Yeah.
What are some of the other
We've
big
had
acts?
Kansas, Marshall Tucker, Joan Jett, John Cafferty. There's many more, but those are some of the big ones we've had recently, and Spin Doctors and Blues Traveler.
Mm-hmm. And you can just get right up there, which is so neat.
Yeah, it's a great day,
Yeah, and if over 21, there is an area for beer and wine, correct?
Yep, that's there's two areas where we serve beer. One is in the main stage area, and one is over in Lisman Landing, where the Jimmy and the Parrots are playing at the Harbor Stage. Wristband 21 and over, but in both locations you can get beer and wine.
Right, and on the green area, you guys have a lot of like local crafters and vendors. I know in the past years I've tried some hot sauces, and there's people that sell jewelry. It's a really good mix of things.
There's over 200 crafters on the green, and they're all handmade. They make handmade products or food, and it's the largest arts and crafts festival in Connecticut as well, with over 200 crafters and a lot of businesses on the green that give out good discounts and good deals. So it's a great area to just stroll and enjoy the day.
Right, and you do get a lot of community organizations involved. I know there's usually police departments set up doing canine training and demonstrations.
Correct, they're there. People love that. The dogs are trained so phenomenally, and to put that on display, people really like that. There's actually over 70 nonprofit groups helping to further their cause that day, either selling water or ice cream or just raising awareness to their group. And that's really the purpose. Whatever you're buying at the festival, mostly all of it is you're supporting a local nonprofit or civic organization, because that's the purpose of the festival.
Right.
So.
And Jay, what are you most excited about this year?
I'm most excited about the weather.
Yes.
I mean, I just see a big orange sun on my phone weather. So that and just the way that it gets put together, and knowing that we're going to get through the day and have just a fantastic day.
That's incredible. And you did bring an old belt buckle. Tell us about this.
That belt buckle was actually given to me by a friend of mine that they found at a flea market in New Milford, upstate Connecticut. Yes. So he bought it for me. That's from the second year, from 1976. They were obviously sold as souvenirs. The first 2 years the festival was worked in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce, and so that was from 1976.
It's really neat. It's heavy duty too.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to highlight about the event that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, the oysters.
The oysters,
I
right.
mean, we're going to have 35,000 oysters. 2 years ago, we had 20,000, so it's growing dramatically. And our oyster shuckers, they're national champions. They are world champions, USA champions. So the shucking contest is the real deal. It's international rules, and that's directly behind the library. And then, of course, we have our famous oyster eating competition, which is much more of a funny situation.
Right.
It's not,
How do they eat them? Do they put anything on them, or they just...
They can if they want.
Okay.
They can dress them up however they want, or eat them as we call neat, which means with nothing on it.
Right.
So that's more of a fun event, and we invite some local friends to do that, and that's a good funny day.
Wow.
Doneg and I will not be entering the oyster eating contest, to my knowledge.
So he just tried oysters for the first time a couple weeks ago. Can you believe it?
But that would be the funniest part if you did, because if something happened,
that would be hilarious.
It would add to the charm of the day.
That would be hilarious. Jay, real quick, just before we wrap, transportation. You run shuttles from a couple of locations.
Yes, we do.
But it's also very convenient from the train, which is how I plan to go.
The train is the way to go. It drops you right at the green, literally a half a block from the green. Take any of the train stops to there. But the shuttle buses are from Jonathan Law High School and from the Rio parking lot in Westfield, Connecticut Mall. Takes you also a half a block from the festival. Free shuttles.
It's great. I'm really looking forward to it, and you hit a home run with the forecast.
We did. Thank you.
And just amazing that you guys are all volunteers. You do such a great job. I
Yeah.
mean, we all owe you a lot of credit because it's such a fun event.
It's fun, and so to see it come from behind the scenes, it really gets you exciting to see that volunteers can put something together, and it happens every year like a well-oiled machine.
Great. Well, Jay, one more time. Tell us the dates and times that people can check out.
Oyster Eve is Friday, this Friday the 14th from 10 to 6 at Lisman Landing. That's where Jimmy and the Parrots will be and everything else. And then Saturday is all downtown from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the 15th.
Jay Pinto, thanks so much. And be sure to check out this weekend's Milford Oyster Festival. We're going to take a quick break and be back. Look at some front pages of this week's newspapers after this.
Take it right back here at the as we move along on this Friday, and we get right now into an interview I did. I'm Rob Adams. We had an interview earlier this week on Nutmeg Sports with the great Bernie Williams, former New York Yankee, and it's coming up right now on Coffee Break. He's a five-time All-Star, an ALCS MVP, one of the great Yankees, I believe, is on the phone right now. Bernie Williams. Bernie, is that you?
That is correct.
Bernie Williams, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
We're doing great here. Thanks so much for your time. Hey, first and foremost, you're going to play the Ridgefield Playhouse coming up. First of all, tell me about the softball game. Let's start there.
Yeah. The softball game starts around 1 o'clock, and we've been playing our band. Started with our band playing the fire and police department of Ridgefield, and it just has escalated to the point that we try to bring reinforcements, and every year we have lost the game by 1 run. So we still get any help that we can get. We're good. we're taking any help.
Bernie, I actually bounced it. I bounced it off the Ridgefield Playhouse. Has your game ever been broadcast?
My team. What do you mean by that?
Well, has the game, the charity softball game, has it ever been, on the radio or on a video or something? Has anybody ever done the play-by-play of it?
Oh, no, we haven't. We have a play-by-play person that actually is sort of entertaining the audience, but it's in the at the baseball field,
right? And
it's just for the benefit of the people that are there, but it hasn't been broadcast outside of the stadium.
All right. Well, it was a thought that I had that I bounced off the Playhouse, so we'll see, maybe we can do something with that. And then you're going to play a concert later on that night, and your music, I have your music. It's really good stuff. Tell me about becoming a musician.
Well, I started playing guitar at around the same time that I started playing baseball. I was about 8 years old. And my mother, she was an educator. She was a school teacher for about 30 years in the public education system in Puerto Rico, and then she became a principal for another 10. And we weren't rich, but she said, education is the key, guys, and we just want you to be well-rounded. Me and my brother, which actually, by the way, he's a cellist, and he's also a lawyer. And my mom wanted us to be exposed to sports and arts and music as part of part of our education. Being well-rounded and then doing good in school. Little that she knew that I was going to develop such a passion for both. Whether it was baseball, I ran track. I did a little basketball. With any sport, I was blessed with a lot of natural ability, and I, remember loving it. I remember going from school and taking my uniform off and putting my, my playing clothes on and going to the field until nightfall when I was a little kid. And then at the time that I became a high school student, on my 9th grade, I had this great opportunity to become a member of this performing arts high school in Puerto Rico called La Escuela Libre de Música. And I spent 4 years there, and it was basically a school geared towards preparing kids to go to conservatories to be professional musicians. But on the side, I was playing little leagues, and it became a time when I turned 15 that this scout from the Yankees gave me an opportunity and gave me a tryout. The Yankees offered me an opportunity to play in the minor leagues. I was a junior in high school. I wasn't even finished in high school. So we signed, and I started playing in the minors right after my last high school year. The rest is history. I always kept playing the guitar, though. I took it with me in road trips. I took it with me on the bus. I took it with me in my locker room. I always had music in the back of my mind, and it was just fitting that after I finished playing baseball, I would go back to it and try to make try to make something out of it.
And, of course, I remember video of you and Paul O'Neill banging on the drums, and that's fitting because O'Neill always needed something to beat up on.
That's, that's right, though. But he was the most mild-mannered guy off the field. That's what most people don't know, that he was, so intense during the games that, when the games were over, he was just about his family and about just being just really mild-mannered. So I think he enjoyed being a drummer. We played, a couple of times, a lot of times actually in my career during rainouts, during rain delays, after batting practice, before batting practice. It was just a kind of a thing that we had going. We used to go to the old paint room in Yankee Stadium where they had all the leftover paint, and we used to sort of jam there. Me, Paul, on the fumes, and it was it was kind of a nice thing to do before the game.
It was a good way to warm up, and that Yankee team coming out of '96 through the late '90s. Of course, you right there at the middle of it, but to get those guys, Jeter and Mariano and Andy and Jorge, you were the first guy, and I recall you being this shy but talented kid off the bat. What made things click for you in the early '90s?
I think, to be quite frankly, it was the fact that the Yankees at that time was a team that, even though we had the team always was defaulted with a lot of great expectations because of the history behind the team. But at the time that we made it to the big leagues in the early '90s, the team has gotten through a drought from the World Series and playoff competition, I believe, since the last time was '83, since they played the Dodgers, I believe. But the '77, '78 Yankees, in the '80s, early '80s, those years were over. And back when I started playing with them in '91, the team was sort of in a rebuilding kind of a situation. Mr. Steinbrenner was temporarily suspended from the game-to-game team operations, and they let a lot of people run the baseball day-to-day operations, and they decided to give the young guys from the minor leagues an opportunity to play and choose, and actually show what they could do before they could be shipped or traded or do whatever with them. So I guess I was at the right place at the right time, and I was able to play through my struggles and sort of become a major leaguer. It took me about 3, perhaps 2.5, 3 years to come into my own as a bona fide Major League Baseball player, which I doubt in this day and age the Yankees would have had the patience to develop a guy in the big leagues and give him time, because we have been so spoiled having teams going into the playoff so often in the last decade that it's hard to be patient with a young player. But at that time, I think they could afford the luxury of being patient with players because they were not really a contending team.
You have a love affair with this city and with the fans. The Yankee fans truly love you, and I know that means a lot to you. And in '95, you're part of a team that gets to that first wild card, and talk about a beloved Yankee getting Don Mattingly to the playoffs. That had to mean a lot to that team. Yeah, it certainly meant a lot to us, and it surely meant a lot to him, being in a team for all those years that never had an opportunity to go to the playoffs. And that was his moment, and he shined. I mean, if he would have won those series, he was probably the most valuable player. He played just incredible baseball. And I was a witness, watching him going, about his business day after day with a bad back, hurting, all these injuries, and still, playing at a level that he was proud of. And just watching him going about his business day in and day out, it really gave us a lot of inspiration to us, the young guys coming up, saying, we were thinking, if this guy can do it, he gets ready to play every day, he doesn't complain,
a prima donna. So that's the way to be a Yankee, and we took a lot of our learning from the way he played, and we took it. I took it to my heart, and that was the way that I approached the game after those years, after watching him play.
We're talking with Bernie Williams, of course, the great Yankee and great musician, and I'm not just saying that. I do own Bernie's music, and it's outstanding. He's playing the Ridgefield Playhouse later this month. Of course, charity softball game before the concert. It's 3:01 here on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. And Bernie, I was saying to the guys off the air here in the studio with me, I remember the 2000 World Series like the back of my hand. I know you do as well. That being said, I've always heard, and I've heard O'Neill say this, it was not an enjoyable experience. Obviously, you guys won. That means a lot. But was it really the way that I've heard that it really was not this enjoyable experience for you guys?
I don't know. I think different players have different opinions, because everybody experienced the situation in their own particular way. I had a great time playing that series. I had an opportunity to not really travel anywhere. So we had both local teams playing, and it seems like the whole baseball world stopped to see two local teams battling it out, toe-to-toe. And the fact that we won it, obviously, gave us a lot of bragging rights. But it was still a very enjoyable series for me to watch. I had an opportunity to enjoy it with my family and all the people that were near me at the time. And I have a great recollection of us carrying Joe Torre off the field because we thought at that point that he was so instrumental to our success. And I remember him crying and just pointing out to his wife and blowing kisses at her. Later on, I'm doing a private autograph session, and I come out this picture of us carrying Joe Torre, and I asked for a copy, and Joe signed it for me, saying, to Bernie and the guys, you carried me through all these years. Thank you so much. So, it was just a magical time for anybody playing for the Yankees at that time, and I was just so proud to be part of that era for the team.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you how are your teeth after the dentist yesterday?
Man, don't ever get old. Don't ever get old. No, they're good. I mean, they're good. It was just a situation that I had to take care of, and hopefully, being at the dentist it's never fun when you have to get work done. So I am glad that it's not as serious as I suspected it was, but that area of your body is so sensitive that any little thing kind of starts barking at you. It's very uncomfortable, but I got to do what I got to do, so nothing can stop me.
That's right.
So you got the show must go on, like they say.
How closely do you keep an eye on the Yankees now?
Actually, not too bad though. I try to see, how they're doing, the team in general. It seems like when Robinson Cano and now Derek gone from the team as current players, my relationship with the current players as of now, that they're now, has become less and less. Because, let's face it, that my last year playing was 2006. I still have a good relationship, however, with the front office and the clubhouse people because they have been there since the beginning of my career. Obviously, Joe Girardi, Mariano lives in the area. Some of the guys, Jorge, he's been gone for a while. But I do like to see how they're doing. I like to see all the skeptics, kind of like saying, how bad they're going to be and how bad they have been over the years, the last recent seasons, and how they're going to come back. And the team is actually surprisingly doing really well, because this was supposed to be, sort of a reorganizing and trying to get, people to establish themselves in the different positions. And, they're still in first place. they're battling, and they're doing a great job in my estimation. So you never know what can happen with these Yankees. You can never count them out.
Bernie Williams and Friends charity softball game and performance. That'll be at the Ridgefield Playhouse. It's Sunday, August 30th. The Ridgefield Playhouse, a great place. And you've been a great guy for, Westchester and Fairfield County. You've made your home here. You come and play in Ridgefield. Seems like it's been a good area to you. Last question I have for you, because you've been so gracious. How did there are some guys that just step up at certain moments, and you were just an amazing clutch player. Game 196 against the Orioles, of course, the Jeter game. You hit the walk-off against Randy Myers, and some other moments. I remember big game against the Rangers in the 96 ALDS. Just how did you get that laser focus? What is there for the young athlete to say, this is how you do it in the big moment?
I think a lot of it has to do with two main factors. Preparation. What you see on the field is basically the result of hours and hours and hours of practice, tirelessly working on my swing, working on my technique, working on my fundamentals, and that allowed me to, say, I've been doing this, I know I got this, which brings me to the second part, which was trusting that preparation. I think some people have a little bit of a disconnect. They're great practice players, but then when it comes to the game, they seem to forget that they have spent so many hours doing the work, the muscle repetition, and then trying to get to a point, to a level that they can trust themselves. So I try, for the most part, to trust my preparation, and obviously it is kind of contagious, and it has this sort of snowball effect. And it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to come into places during the course of the season that you're going to go through those peaks and